girls, and welcome to the Hey Girl podcast. We're so glad you're here today, and I'm super excited because Bethany is interviewing one of my very best friends on a mailing. Yeah. Now, you may wonder, well, if she's one of your very best friends, why is Bethany interviewing her? And truth be told, Bethany loves her too. Like, we're all super good friends. But Anna and I have this like sisterhood weird bond where, so I'm just going to tell you a story of one time we were at like a super nice baby shower, and everyone else is normal. Everyone is just talking quietly, enjoying the time. And Anna and I cannot even tell you what it was, but somehow Anna and I just started laughing hysterically. And Anna and I neither of us have quiet or normal laughs. And so all of a sudden I realize that I'm laughing hysterically and the whole room is silent. And so Anna and I just kind of look at each other, give each other like the stop laughing look, and we try and like contain it. But you know, like when you can't contain your laugh and your shoulders are still shaking, but you're deeply mortified that you're an adult and you can't control yourself? That's what happened. And a lot of times Anna and I just start laughing a lot. We have a good time together and we have inside jokes because we're great friends. And so I felt like I wouldn't do her justice to interview her because we would just have a lot of laughter, which is super fun. But I really want you to hear her story and the season of life she's in. So I am handing this one over to Bethany.
I am super honored that you're going to let me interview Anna. But I also understand because I have spent time with the two of you together.
I'm sorry.
And it makes me think that when we get to the point where we're interviewing my best friend, you're going to have to repay the favor. Because
absolutely.
I think it's a best friend thing.
I think so.
You almost know too much about each other, and you are not the right person to like really bring perspective, or like the calm down thing just makes you want to laugh harder.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally understand. So I'm going to try and do justice to this interview, but I'm going to be honest. I'm feeling a little intimidated because I don't just like Anna. I'm like an Anna fan. Like when she just talked about releasing, like she's blogging now, I have never been so excited. Like, I don't even remember the last book release I was as excited as Anna writing, because she is by far one of the funniest, most creative, and doesn't at all look like she has the kids that she has kind of lady. Like when I first met her, I thought she was one of your students, and then she's like, no, I have like 5 children.
Please don't say that, because then I have to hear about it. Look at Jenn, I'm so young.
And this is going to be a good time.
Side note, I made her start that blog because the girl can write. And for years, I've been like, please, will you write a blog? Do this, do this, do this. And so finally, I was like, well, you're going to be on the podcast. If you want to be famous, now's your time, because we'll link your blog to our podcast. See, because we're famous.
Oh,
so see how that works?
Okay.
I'm letting her go with us. But that inspired her. But
she's riding our coattails.
That's right. But that's like glossy best friend stuff. If I have to jump in on the interview, I will. Or I'll just send you notes because I'll be sitting here. So it'll be a good time.
Okay, so you can probably already guess that this interview will be different and unique. But I just recommend you buckle up because it's going to be a ride. So sit back, enjoy, and let's welcome Anna Mailing. I am here with Jenn's bestie, who I get to interview today. We are all about just honesty and laying it out there. So I know that she is probably too nervous to admit the fact that she's freaking out right now.
Oh, I'm not too nervous. No. I'm never too nervous to admit the fact that I don't want to do this.
She's a willing party, I swear. So, Anna, I have gotten to know you over the last few years. Jenn and you are really good friends, but there's probably a lot of listeners who have no idea who you are. Tell our listeners and just share with us a little, where did you come from? And how did you, like, what led you to where you are right now?
I feel like I have many timelines to my life, and each little spot is a different life that I've lived. So I was born in Decatur, Indiana, and it's a small little town. And my mother was a single mother from the time that I was around 8 years old. So my mom raised me and my 2 brothers, and she did the absolute best she could, and she was a young mom, so life wasn't always totally easy for us, but she did it, and we were always loved and fed and taken care of. So that my mother is actually the one who called the church to get the church van to come pick us up every Sunday, because her mother made her go to church, so we had to go to church too, which I wasn't always happy about it at first, but once we got into the groove of it, I loved it. I waited for that church bus every Sunday. I had a pin that I wore to school that said Bible Toter, and and I wore that pin very proudly, and I made sure I had my Bible with me every day.
Love it.
So that's kind of the beginning of my start as, a Christian woman.
So Indiana and Attleboro, Massachusetts is quite a distance. What brought you from there to here? Were there places in between, or was it a direct move?
No, my mom and dad, my stepdad, my mom later married when I was, I think, 11, my stepdad, and she moved us to Florida because she wanted to go to school there. So we moved there, and I got in contact with a church, Vero Beach Church of Christ, and there was a man there who did a lot of donating to a college, Harding Christian University. And when I was graduating high school, I told him I wasn't going to go to college. I was going to go to a missions program, Adventures in Missions. He said, absolutely not. You're going to go to school, and I'll pay for it. So it was a scholarship fund that he had. So I ended up at this tiny little Christian university in Searcy, Arkansas, and I totally had a southern draw. And that's where I met my New England grumpy husband.
Yes. I was waiting till he entered the story.
Yes. And he graduated, and he looked at me and said, yeah, so I'm not done with you. You want to move home with me?
And was that the official proposal?
No.
Just
of course not.
dating?
No.
Okay.
He would never propose right then and there. He made me wait at least 6 months for a proposal. So I moved. I said, sure, okay. And I moved to New England with him, and I didn't know a soul.
Wow. And so then how did you meet people? You came, he's the only one you know. Because, girl, you got friends now.
I have friends now, but like I said, that was a totally different life. Like, that was part A life. I don't know what to call that. But so he grew up in the church Edgewood Church of Christ, and he went there for 33 years.
Wow.
So I just started going to church and met tons of people there, and they were so welcoming because of Dana. And there's still a lady today, Cheryl Raymond, who loves me because she loves Dana. That's probably the only reason why.
Aww. I think we all have people in our lives who our husbands are the reason we're loved.
Exactly.
I think that goes both ways, though, my friend. I'm just saying.
That's okay. I'm okay with it. Cheryl Raymond is special. So, also, I joined karate in my first year of marriage.
What?
Because my husband had so many extracurricular activities. All these friends. He was snowboarding on the weekends. So I had nothing to do. I joined karate with my niece and nephew.
How old were they?
They were young. They were around, 8 and 6.
So this was a beginner's class.
So they had all ages, Bethany. I mean,
okay.
I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I was pretty good. I was on the black belt, I had a red coat and not a white coat.
What?
Yes, because I was in the track to be awesome.
Okay, but was it because that they didn't have white coats for adults?
No, they had white coats for adults. It was Taekwondo. They teach all ages.
Oh, so you're a fighter.
Yeah. Yes.
Good to know.
I think so.
All right, so you joined karate. You're part of the church. At what point is Dana proposing?
Oh gosh, I was married when I joined karate. He proposed, sorry.
No, it's fine. I need to hear with an ask out like
story?
that.
No, he was so sweet. It was perfect. He proposed probably around 6 months after I moved here, on the cliff walks. And
What are the cliff walks?
The cliff walks in Newport, Rhode Island. Is that
okay?
Where you go and there's these cliffs and there's all these mansions and it's beautiful. So we walked I don't even know, a mile or 4. And then we had to walk back to the truck to get the stuff that he needed to propose. Anyways, it was beautiful. We went out on one of the rocks, and he gave me a rose for each reason he loved me, and it was the love is patient, love is kind, and he did all of that. And then the second to last one was, this is because you love me. And the last one was, this is because I love you. And inside was my ring. Oh. And then he cried through it, and he said, will you marry me? And we were just bawling. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. So yeah, that's how he proposed. So he made up for so I'm not done with you whole line.
He set the bar high with that proposal.
It was beautiful. It was great.
Okay, so how long have you been married now?
So I was 12 when I got married.
Obviously, because you look 16 now.
Exactly. No, we'll be married, 16 years?
It's good that I reminded you. You should probably celebrate that.
Oh, yeah.
I think you should write him a card that says, I'm not done with you yet.
You want to stay with me?
Yeah. I think it'd be adorable.
I think so.
So how many kids?
Bio, we have 4 children.
Okay.
Rory and Nove, who are twins, and they are 13. We have Ronan, who is 11, and Destry, who is just wonderful, and he is 7. We have our newest, Jamie. We are adopting him. He is a foster baby that we received when he was 4 days old, and we have had him for 2 years. So he's ours. We're adopting him. It's official. We just got to wait for the court date to sign the papers. And now we have a new addition, our baby G. He is our newest foster kid, and he is 2 months old. And we've had him for about a month, and he's so cute.
I just got to feed him a bottle, and that baby is precious.
He is cute like Ed Sheeran, I swear.
Yeah.
He's growing into his skin, though, now.
I love it. I love it. I know that you have had quite a journey in the foster care, foster to adopt, especially with Jamie. And he's been with you all for 2 years. And he is how old?
He's 2.
He's 2, right. So right out of the hospital,
yes,
correct?
He came right from the hospital to our arms.
And again, I have known you for a short while, but kind of from a distance, watched you journey through this. And it's definitely had some highs and it's had some lows. And I know that there are likely a lot of women that are going to be listening to this that have been on similar journeys and have made the decision to go into foster care. Some who are on the journey, the same, fostering to adopt. Some who maybe have had the really painful experiences that come along with, or the risk rather, of fostering to adopt, where it doesn't always work out. And so as much as you're willing to share, do you think you could share a little bit about your journey with Jamie, your decision to kind of step into doing foster care in the first place, and what's led you to now?
I never thought we would do it. I was willing, but my husband was not really into the idea of inviting a child into the home. I mean, we have 4 kids, and that's a lot. That's no joke right there. But my husband attended this men's conference, Marked Men for Christ, and that has changed our lives in such a pivotal way, where my husband now doesn't say no right away. And that's where we were at. We were both just getting frustrated with our spiritual walk, and I wanted to do more, and he was saying no. And now I think he went through this program and he was able to deal with the reasons why he was saying no. And that just opened up so many doors for us as a couple going through this Christian walk together. And it's just been amazing and life-changing. And one day we were at a friend, Kevin Doyle, his memorial service. And it was just amazing to see everything that man did for other people and while he was here on this earth. And I was just floored by the amount of sacrifices that he made for the kingdom. And we got home, and my husband had the verse, orphans and widows. Let's take care of the orphans and widows. And that just kept coming up for him over and over again. And he looked at me and said, I think it's time to talk about that foster care thing again. So that's where we started. And of course I got really dramatic. I was like, no, now I don't want to do this. And I have a very logical friend, Christy Stebbings, who said, hey, just make the call. It's just a phone call. Hey, just fill out the paperwork. It's just paperwork. Hey, it's just a class. And 10 weeks later, we had our certificate. Yeah. So that's how we started the journey. God just totally put it on our hearts that children are kind of what we want to do and take care of right now. So
you started the journey.
Yes.
When does and how does Jamie enter the picture?
So we had a few kids. We had our first baby was a drug-addicted baby that came into the house. And thank God he left 2 weeks later and went with his father, who was doing such a good job. I'm still in contact on Facebook with them. And then we had a rough go with a little girl that came in, and she had a lot of behavioral issues. And it was hard, and I didn't think we could do it anymore. And that was a really tough season to just get through and try to help her in the best way possible, and then come to grips with, I don't think I'm the right one to help her. And that was really heartbreaking to admit that I can't fix everyone. Because I wanted to fix her. I wanted to be the one that loved her unconditionally. But it was really draining for our family to have her in the home and have her behavioral issues with us. So I'm just glad that God gave me friends to say, it's okay, to say this isn't a good fit for us. And that is a tricky thing about foster care, because sometimes you just force yourself to go through it when it's just not right. So she left us, and then a month later we got Jamie. And from the moment he walked in our house, I just kind of knew it was different. I'm already tearing up. He was just different. His eyes were bright, and we just fell in love. And anybody who met him fell in love instantly. He is the cutest thing in the whole wide world. And I can't post pictures of his face yet on Facebook, and it kills me because he's so beautiful. So I didn't ever think we would adopt. My husband is very adamant we were foster parents. We're foster parents. We're not adopting. And even, I think it took about 6 months for him to realize maybe we could adopt. So the social workers came to us around 6 months, and they asked if we were willing to adopt. And I was absolutely willing. And yes, my husband said, okay, if he doesn't have anywhere to go, we will adopt him. So we thought, at that point, okay, we're going to adopt him. This is crazy. And then, of course, in true social work fashion, that was taken off the table. You're not going to adopt him. We're going to still try to reunify with the mom. So, okay, we're not adopting. 2 months later, it was back on the table. It was that morning they asked, are you still willing to adopt? He has nowhere to go. And that afternoon, when they dropped him off from his visit, they told us that he was leaving and going to move to New York with his siblings that week. That was the weekend of my girl's birthday, and we were just totally devastated. It was a very hard weekend. I was packing him up. I thought my baby was leaving. So we did this. I think it was Wednesday when I finally called them. They were supposed to pick him up on Monday, and nobody picked him up. So I called on Wednesday. Oh, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. He's just going to stay put right now. Okay, do you have any idea when they're going to pick him up or what's going to happen? No, we're just going to leave him where he is right now. So that must have happened like 5 times when we thought he was going to stay. Nope, he's leaving. Gonna stay, leaving. 2 years, it still wasn't final until a couple months ago when we got the call that mom's rights were finally terminated. And it just took forever. And it was so heartbreaking to just be wrenched back and forth and just not know where your baby is going to be. And to not know that his future isn't with you. And it's just a really hard thought. And it's a tough thought to think that this child has another mother out there. And that's just weird in itself. But to raise them and to love them and to just be the only people that he knows and that are in his life, and just the fear that he's going to be ripped away, it's frightening, and it's just paralyzing. And there were days when I couldn't pray. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't even think about God in that moment sometimes. So I would send a text to my friend and say, hey, I can't pray right now. I need you to pray for me because I am turning bitter. And I wish I could say that I had all this godly woman like, whoa, no, I knew God was going to work it out. But I didn't. I had so many doubts and I had so many fears. And I had hard, long conversations with God. And I just told him, I don't know if I'm going to make it if he leaves me. Like, I don't know what you're going to have left if you take my baby, if he is not going to be here. And I think those conversations are okay to have. God is God, and he can handle our crazy because he made us. It was just a really long, heart-wrenching, paralyzing, want to crawl in a hole road. And now we're just so joyful that we get to keep him. He's ours. We've renamed him. He's Jameson now, and he's crazy. He fits right in, and I'm just so happy.
I appreciate very much your being willing to be vulnerable, because it would be easy to tell a story like that and paint yourself the, spiritual heroine who I just clung to God. And not that that's a terrible thing, but I love the fact that you're willing to say, like, I had a lot of doubts and I had a lot of hard conversations with God, because I think all of us at some point find ourselves there. And I know it can be really hard to talk about those things and not feel shamed and not feel like there's, I'm not being a good testimony because I'm questioning. But honestly, I also appreciate, just for those listening who are part of doing foster care, even early on in your story, taking a girl and having to come to that place. And like you said, having friends speak into that this isn't the right fit. Like, it's costing your family too much, and your willingness and the beauty in the story that, you kind of released this, and then in comes Jameson. And obviously not at all this just redemptive. It's just beautiful from then on out. There's been a lot of hurt along the way, but I just know, I for one, absolutely rejoice with you. I'm so proud of, and I just very much admire your willingness to stick it out, because I think the other thing that could have been easy is for you to just throw in the towel and be like, you know what, if you're just going to keep going back and forth, you need to come get this baby, because I think any mother listening, you can't fathom that, not knowing, are you taking them, are you not taking them, and to have to go through that, like you said, for as long as you have. This has been 2 years, Anna. You've walked a road in 2 years. And I know that even though you are saying you've had doubts, you've had hard conversations with God, I also know that God has used this in your journey in foster care and with your family to impact other people. And that's such an incredible thing that he does. He uses not only our weaknesses, but most often our weakest moments.
We're crazy enough to start all over again.
Yeah, but I think that's amazing. Like, with everything that you've walked through, and here is this little boy that needs love and needs a home, and you have taken him. I mean, you showed up here tonight. What'd you say? Like 6 kids, y'all. Like, this is no joke.
6 kids. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that for us continuing this. It's not me. Like, I would not have chosen to have another newborn in the house. My husband would not have chosen to have another newborn in the house. But when God pulls on your heart, it's kind of hard to ignore the tug. And when you know you're doing what he wants you to do, it's hard, but that's okay. Like, God doesn't call us to have an easy life. Like, God doesn't promise easy. I know that this is what we're supposed to do. And that excites me to actually know.
Do you feel like you're at a place now? And obviously the story's not over and it continues on, but do you feel like you're at a place where you can say at this point, you know what, it's worth it? Like, because you've had some dark days and some really difficult times, and you continue on this journey. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Like you said, it's hard to ignore the tugs, when God tugs on your heart, but sometimes we do. Sometimes we completely ignore it because the risk seems too high.
Yeah.
And you didn't. You embraced it and you followed it. And what would you say on just where you're at right now?
I think it was worth it. I think all the heartache and all the sleepless nights and all the crying prayers we've done this with our children. Our children have been there every step of the way, and I feared that I was ruining them for a little while. But I think that they have so much character in them now. They have depth, and 13-year-old girls kind of struggle with that sometimes, I think.
That's fair.
But these kids, they get it. They understand that there's another life out there that isn't always where mom and dad are together and food is on the table. Mom and dad are healthy. They know that these parents are struggling, and our newest baby, the parents are sick. Like, they need to get better, and that's what we pray for right now, for them to get better. And for me, that's worth it, for my kids to have this bigger understanding of the world, that it's not always happy and perfect. There's stuff out there that they don't ever come in contact with.
That's such it's something I think of a lot with my own children, but oftentimes we think about what God has called us to, and we forget that when children are in our lives and in our homes and young and impressionable, that oftentimes those things that God calls us to are as much a call on our children as they are on us. And when we, risk for God, then we allow God to move in powerful ways for our children. And the flip side is, if we refuse to risk, if we ignore God's tugging, then we also risk robbing our kids of those same opportunities. And you said it really well. It doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, even for your children. Sometimes it's going to be hard and painful for them as well. But character is such a great word, and just the fruit of what your kids have gotten to walk through and continue to walk through. I think that's amazing. So 6 kids in the house now.
I laugh every time somebody says that.
You laugh to keep from crying.
Or sleep deprivation.
Well, no, I'm going to go down that road. So you got 6 kids. You married. This is your life now. Tell us.
Add a puppy too. Can we add the puppy?
Oh, yes.
We need to add the puppy.
You know what? I really just want you to tell us, what does it look like to be in the life of Anna? Like, what is it? Just like a day. Just give us this glimpse into your crazy world.
Oh, gosh. Well, it usually starts with me forcing my 11-year-old into new, clean clothing every morning. So that's fun and super not frustrating. So a typical day is, so I work too. I take care of 2 kids during the day. Yep. And I cook for a family twice a week. So a typical day is me getting up, getting all my crazies off to school, getting the 2 babies in the car, and running to pick up my extras. That's what I call them, my little extras. And then it's pure craziness. There's laundry, there's crumbs, there's dog hair, there's appointments in between where we try to get stuff done, but there's just 500 children and Charlie and Jamie like to fight sometimes. So it's just crazy. It's non-stop. I don't sit down until 10 o'clock. I'm tired.
So so 10 o'clock, are you out cold?
No, so 10 o'clock I sit down to eat popcorn.
Oh.
Because I need popcorn in my life and Polar Seltzer.
And why popcorn and not Ben & Jerry's?
Oh, I don't like ice cream. Not too much. I'm not a sweets girl. I'd rather have a chicken wing.
Okay, fair enough. So you're eating popcorn, sitting on the couch, hanging out. You've had a full day.
Full day.
And looking at this season of your life and where you're at with your kids, with your job, with other people's kids and your marriage, what are your favorite parts? Like, what are the things that you really celebrate most in this season that you would never want to trade them right now?
Oh my goodness. I would never trade my children. Because I have to say that, right? No.
Good answer.
No. I'm enjoying 13-year-olds. They are super fun. And they like me. It's so weird. They tell me everything. And their friends tell me everything. So that's just been really fun to still have like that really good open relationship with them where they just want to tell me all about, they don't have crushes, but maybe there might be a boy sometimes in their class. So yeah, that has been super fun to just have that continuous road that's open with them. I really am enjoying my marriage right now. We are like extremely busy. He's been gone for a project since Saturday. Like he just has been working nonstop. And now, but that's okay. We are so good right now. Like we're so busy and going this way and that way. But when we come together, we know like we're good. I don't know how else to explain it. That just sounds weird.
I think that's awesome. So kids, great. Marriage is great.
And our ministries. Like, I just really enjoy, like, everything that God has been putting in front of me. Not that it's not hard. And not that I don't get frustrated and want to, like, rage and put my fists in the air. Because you can't see me. I keep doing gestures, but you guys can't see me.
They can feel it.
Okay, I hope so. So yeah, I really enjoy. We have a youth worship band right now, and that has been so cool to watch these kids learn instruments from the ground up. I don't teach them. I have this really talented dude that teaches them.
But you are also a worship leader.
I am a worship leader.
Add that to the list, my friend.
I am a worship leader, and that's something that took me a while to be able to say confidently. But I can say it now. I'm a worship leader, and I freaking love it. I love it. It's so life-giving to me to get up there and sing.
That's awesome. So with all of this good, in every season of life comes challenges and things that are hard. Is there anything that comes to mind for you right away that you're like, this is kind of challenging right now with everything going on?
People.
Fair.
I'm sorry.
Jenn, if you could just walk away, I'm trying to keep this lady under control.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. Listeners, this is what we were afraid of.
I know. It's
going to happen.
We're trying. We really do try to be normal. We really do, but it only lasts for about 5 minutes.
Well, know your gifts and what they're not.
Right, exactly. No, I think with all this, being a worship leader and being a foster parent and being a mom, like,
you want to set the tone.
You want to set the tone in the way that you feel will reach people's hearts and make them cry. But other people have other ideas, and you have to deal with that. And that stinks sometimes. That's just true dramatic.
So control is a thing.
It's a little thing.
And you are involved in so many things that are so interconnected with different people that rely on them doing their part. That's got to be hard.
It's a little hard, but you know what? It always works out. It always works out. It's so weird when people say, hey, don't worry, God's got it. And you go, what the heck? You still got to work for it. But then in the end, it really does just work out. I'm just dramatic.
Really, I wasn't getting that at all.
Jenn shaking her head yes, emphatically.
This is what we need to go for, because you have just described the life of a crazy person. Was that too honest? Should I have toned that?
No.
The life of an incredibly busy person.
Gifted and beautiful.
Yes. Well, that's
busy.
giving.
Okay.
But,
sorry.
okay, so crazy. I guarantee you there are women on here that, because they don't know you, they're tempted to hate you right now because you have just mapped out this, oh my word, this woman sings, she cooks for people, she cares for other people's children, she's adopting, she has foster kids, she has kids that talk to her, teenagers that tell her everything.
But she only shaves half her leg because she has no time to do the whole thing. Like, let's be real.
All right. That's one direction. We could take that. But I'm not 100% sure that that's actually going to win over our audience, because
come on.
I think if I took a consensus of women and how many of them first of all, how many of them shave their legs this time of year?
No.
And then how many of them only shave as high as they absolutely
For the
have
cuff.
to?
For the cuff. The
Yeah.
jean cuff.
Okay, so that's not going to win you any more fans. The fact that you're in a tank top right now and you haven't shaved your pits, that might win some fans.
Yep.
That's kind of
Some things you just have to let other things go.
You do.
You just do.
So that, I guess my question, Anna, is, in the midst of all of the busy and all of the things you're doing for other people, how are you taking care of yourself? Spiritually, emotionally, physically? What does it look like?
Sometimes I don't. Let's just be honest. I'm a mom and a wife and a working mom and wicked busy, and I forget to take care of myself, which can be very bad for the family, for the unit. I need to introvert. I'm that weird person who is an extrovert but is also an introvert. I need to just sit and be quiet. I put in my headphones. I listen to music. I listen to weird books.
Define weird.
Oh, just vampires and magical creatures. I just love the fictions, and I love love stories. It's so epic when somebody falls in love. Like,
Yes.
why not read about somebody falling in love over and over again? So that's what I do. I just need to be by myself. I like to journal. I like to write down all my craziness in my journal, and then I pray over myself, because I realize, oh honey, you're crazy.
That's fair.
Also, can I just add that God has given me a friend group that has just been like none other than I have had in the past. I think the older you get, the more you realize that it just really doesn't matter what other people think. And that is a really huge thing to come to. I'm a hot mess, and my friends know it, and they love me for it. And I've been in friendships that have not loved me for it. And those are bad friendships. Those were really tough to try to be somebody you're not. And I'm just so glad I'm an old lady now, and I can just embrace all of it. All of it. God is just giving people that speak into my life and encourage me and cry with me and raise their fists in the air with me and fight for me. And that has just been a blessing.
All right, so I want to skip to our last question. And probably something that I want to know most, Anna, especially after hearing your superwoman ways.
Oh, good gravy.
What is the most superficial thing about you?
Just one?
I don't know.
Oh, no, girlfriend.
Oh, honey.
Give me-
I really love my MAC highlight. My hair. Okay, so listen. I really don't take myself that serious. I really don't. But I may have bought some hair extensions. Well, it's short now. I can't wear them, and I'm devastated.
You're not wearing them right now.
Devastated that my hair is too short to wear them. But you know the little headband, the clear headband? Daisy Fuentes sells them, and you put it on like a headband, and then you pull your hair through. It is the best thing for like $45 you could ever spend your money on.
We'll put a link in the show notes.
We should put a link in the show notes.
We will absolutely put that in the show notes.
It's amazing.
So, but what does it accomplish?
It gives you a thicker, longer, fuller look.
Wow. You need to go into advertising.
Right?
All right. So I'm getting the impression from Jenn walking around here that there is more to tell.
There's skincare. I love to talk about skincare. I love to talk about moisturizing. Girls, you need to moisturize your face and your hands because you don't want 20 in the face, 50 on the hands. Right, Jenn? That's right. And what's this? The décolleté? Is that how you say it?
I call it the space above my boobs.
The wrinkle boob, girls. You do not want the wrinkle boob. You've got to moisturize there every day.
What's your recommended moisturizer?
Oh, goodness. Right now? So I do a lot of different things. I will try anything because I'm that crazy. Right now I have a Burt's Bees. It's a pre-moisturizer, and it's all natural, and you put it on before you put your other moisturizer on.
What? What is what is pre-moisturizing?
I don't know. I feel like it's like a scam, but I still do it. So it makes you feel my face, Bethany. Come on. It's soft.
It's like a baby's butt.
Right? So I do that. And then right now I'm really into the Pond's. The anti-wrinkle Pond's. It's white with gray.
Okay. We have so many things to put in our show notes.
Yes, and Mary Kay Firming Eye Cream. One of my favorites.
That stuff makes my eyes burn.
Sometimes people don't love it. I've used Mary Kay since I was around 15 years old, though. So that's my base. That's when I have Mary Kay is what I usually go to.
So the reason you look 16 is because you do all of this moisturizing?
I moisturize like crazy. And I do a mask like twice a week. Like they're the dumb.
That sounds wonderful.
My kids get scared in the morning sometimes because I'll just slap it on and do whatever. The bus comes. Bye, kids. I have a mask on. I don't care.
What mask do you use?
I picked one up from Old Navy. See, I'm telling you, I will do anything. I gave it to Jenn for her Christmas present.
Okay, it's become clear to me that we will probably have to make an additional episode of things that are superficial.
I am so sorry.
And that's not meant as a judgment. I just feel like I need a notebook and I need a pen. And I also need to break to go moisturize because I am suddenly feeling incredibly old and dried out, like I'm cracking. Like, can you see it in my face right now? Oh my word! No,
I'm extremely. I have contemplated Botox. I'm not gonna lie. I am extremely vain in the wrinkle department.
What would you?
It's ridiculous.
Botox?
I don't know. Here they say the earlier you start, the better. I've called. I'm ridiculous.
If for no other interview than this one, I'm so glad that we added that question.
Me too.
Because
I'm not embarrassed.
But I feel like it got real. You know what? And I think that there's actually a life lesson here. You can love orphans and widows and do your Jesus worship
with false eyelashes.
Contemplate Botox while slapping on your fake eyelashes.
Yep, don't forget those.
and it can all work. It just works.
It can. It makes
one
me
hot
happy
mess
to have a moisturized face. The rest of me is a hot mess. Like, I don't shave, but my face is moisturized.
Fair enough. Well, ladies, I just hope that you have gotten as much out of this as I just did. And Anna, I am so grateful, especially now hearing more of your life, that you took time out of your day to come here. Though this may be the most peaceful part of your day, I am thinking.
I think maybe. I do have another meeting after this.
Oh, sorry about that. But we're so grateful. Thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for being honest and real with us, both in the hard things and in the extremely shallow and superficial things.
You are so welcome.
Hey girls, I hope that you enjoyed meeting my dear friend Anna today, and I hope that it made you feel a little more normal in your weirdness and all your quirks, because she certainly has a bunch of weirdo things, but I hope also that she just inspired you. Her story of foster care and foster to adopt is just one that I can't listen to without bawling my eyes out. So I just hope that if that's something that God places on your heart, like, please reach out to Anna. She would love to talk to you and help point you in the right direction. So, Bethany, I thought you did a great job interviewing her.
I was super nervous. I felt like I have to do Anna justice, and I enjoyed it a lot. There was a lot of laughter. I think there was a few times we may have gotten a little out of control.
It's a good time with Anna around. Even if life is crazy, she manages to find the joy in every moment. So that's super fun.
She is definitely the funniest person. I mean, that was just affirmed today. But it was awesome hearing her story, and loved hearing about meeting her husband and his very romantic whatever, I'm not done with you yet. That's fantastic, especially if you know her husband. It just really made sense. But then the amazing proposal and just the journey that they've been on, and their kids are awesome.
Yes, they are.
But I love that things have gone the way that they've gone with Jameson, and I just appreciate her being so vulnerable and being willing to share about not just the shiny side of it, but the hard side of fostering kids. Because I think anybody who walks that road knows that it's not all,
exactly,
unicorns and rainbows.
Yep.
But there was I want to say a video that came out recently, or not recently, but on social media, that was in regards to foster care. And the idea of the video obviously was to really tug on your heart to do foster care. But I remember after watching it, having been somebody that knows enough people that have walked that journey, thinking that as much as I appreciated their desire to kind of put in front of people that kids need foster care, I felt like it did kind of paint that picture of every kid's going to be this success story of you bring them in and you rescue them, and because of you. And on a story about that, the little girl that came to her in the beginning, and being willing to acknowledge, as much as it was hard and you want to fix everybody, like this isn't going to work, and you can't sacrifice your whole family. And also believing that just because you are not necessarily the right person doesn't mean that God doesn't have the right person for that kid. And so I love that through Anna's story, I felt like we got a really good rounded perspective of foster care, and also just love the fact that at the end for her, she's like, it was worth it. Like, it's been really hard, and the fact that she has a new baby in her house tells me that it continues to be worth it, because Absolutely. It's not like she just went through it once and said, okay, I did my time. Like, they have this new little baby, and they're just, pouring into him, and just a beautiful, beautiful story. So I'm glad you brought her on.
No problem.
Okay, Jen, this is your bestie. And so you went into this knowing pretty much everything about her. But I do wonder, was there at any point within the interview that either you were reminded of something that you just really love about your best friend, or maybe something that surprised you, or a memory that you haven't thought of in a really long time that this kind of stirred up emotion for you today?
I would say that it was just awesome hearing from her about just real life, and knowing the things that she's gone through and that we've walked the roads together with, and just being there for each other through those hard times and good times. So thankful to God that he knows who you need in your path at the right time in the right season, and being able to love people in those hard seasons and be able to see them through to the other side. I mean, walking with Jameson and wondering if he was going to leave, like those were some hard, dark days, and being able to just support her and love her through that. And I mean, this was a show about her, but she has been there for me time and time again too. So just super thankful to God that he puts people in your life at the right time in the right place. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed this episode. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you, and just want to remind you that we're here on social media for you. We're also on iTunes. Be sure to leave us a review, give us some 5 stars, and we'd love to connect with you on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Girls, we're praying for you. Keep running your race in your place, and we'll keep inspiring you with more stories from more fabulous ladies like Anna. Have a great day.
That's our best intro yet. Hey girls, and welcome to another episode. We already did that. That's an intro. Just kidding. We don't need the intro. That's hilarious. Oh.
Somebody set the alarm.
Oh, an alarm. You're so hot. The fire alarm is going off.
That's right.
Right now.
That's right. What do you call it?
You're making a table.
In worship, you want to set the mood, but what do you call it? You set
The ambiance? You set the tone?
tone.
I am not really sure how that motion was
See,
toned.
all the people.
She's making like a flat plane here.
I have no idea.